Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping at Walmart off Augusta Road in North McKinney, Texas. As always, please make sure you are following me on Instagram. My Instagram name is at Grow Folds, as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel if you enjoy my 1-hour plant shopping videos on a daily basis. So it is a beautiful Saturday morning when I film this video, and you can see this is a Walmart I typically go to. This is in North McKinney, right off of Highway 380 on the border of Prosper, Texas. So we're going to see what kind of plants that they have at this Walmart. I have been doing a lot of big box store plant shopping. I am on the hunt for that Monstera Thai Constellation and just looking for different types of rare philodendron that we could possibly find at Walmart. This Walmart has been awesome in a sense that I have found some philodendron pink princess on sale for $5. They typically have this cycle where they clearance out plants, and that's the reason why, if you are a local plant foldie, and for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. I would suggest subscribing to my channel with the notification bell on. I am always in a big box store or a local plant nursery out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is where I'm based at. But you can see here it is a beautiful Saturday morning, and I love doing plant shopping early in the morning as well as late afternoon and evening, just because there's less people to really just avoid filming. I try my very best not to get people on film, but as you can see here, Walmart for the most part have at least this particular Walmart has a lot of plants available to purchase. We've got indoor tropical plants as well as outdoor gardening plants. We're going to take a look at the outdoor gardening section in just a bit, but I did just want to pan over and show you what they have available. They've got a lot of plants that have been sourced out by Costa Farms, so that's something that I will touch base on in just a little bit. But it is early morning. I love that morning sun, and when you think about plants and what type of light that they require, morning sun is really the best. It is a less intense of a light for these plants, and so you can see all of these plants are looking super healthy. I will say that this looks like a plant that hasn't been really restock, at least this outdoor section. You can see here we've got some yellow bells. Now these are plants that are able to grow in Texas. These are for $24.98. These are perennial plants, and for those that don't know what perennial means, it basically means you can grow the plant in an outdoor space depending on your grow zone. My grow zone in North Dallas would be 8B, and that would be a perennial. One plant I have always looked at and I'm eventually going to buy is this ajuga plant. So this is really a ground cover. This one is by Garden Expert for $4.37. I like the look of ajuga plants. I love the dark foliage plants. Anything that's dark purple, black, brown, beautiful plant. I love the natural shine, and it has a nice texture about it. Some people will say that this is similar to the waffle plant that typically Costa Farms sells as an exotic angel plant, starter plant. But you can see here I am obsessed with variegated ajuga. Notice how beautiful this plant is. Now these are all ground cover. Some people will say they are a little bit more invasive. They are vigorous growers for $4.37. So I feel like if you want to attempt to grow this plant indoors like myself, definitely take a look at that. It's not that big of a price difference between just getting a house plant and a ground cover plant. I always think about ground cover plants as potential plants. There is not really a true indoor plant because all plants have come from some natural environment outdoors that we bring indoors. Lantana, 1747, I believe, in this planter. Love lantana. They can tolerate really hot conditions, drought tolerant, really good for full sun. That's what they really need, and it is a vigorous grower as well. And then we have caladiums right over here in a mixed planter. I've noticed a lot of big box stores have been doing instant mixed planters of planters, which is a really convenient thing for those that are not really good about mixing and matching plants. And then everybody's favorite, this is the Hydra Helix, or the correct way to say it is Hedera Helix, English Ivy. For those that are new to this channel, I always say Hydra Helix versus Hedera Helix. It is an inside plant foldy joke. I don't know why you guys like to count the amount of times I say that during a video, but I did bring it back. I have scaled it back just a little bit because I have been given feedback that it is a little bit cringy for some people, but I don't know. I just love saying it. So for those that appreciate it, I appreciate you. And then over here is another 4-pack of variegated ajuga plants. Again, variegated ajuga plants are beautiful because they have those pink and lavender tones. That variegation is really nice. And I recently got an Asiatic jasmine, a variegated form. Now this one is for $4.37 as well. This is ground cover. This is ground cover that grows pretty fast, but I got the variegated form. It is currently growing in a container, a 6-inch container, and I'm hoping that I'd be able to transition it into the indoor space. A lot of my plants that are growing outdoors, I'm going to have to figure a way to be able to bring them indoors when it gets a little cold for the winter. And then over here, we've got some geraniums as well as some more lantana. Now this lantana is for $8.78. This is a bandana yellow lantana. I really like the look of this one as well. You know, with lantana, they are mounding and spreading, so they make great ground cover. I have a bunch that I planted in my outdoor landscape in my my backyard. And you know, something I wanted to share yesterday when I filmed this video is I have been hosting a dove family. So I had an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos hanging basket that a pair of mourning doves decided to create a nest and lay 2 eggs. They have been with us for about a month now, and then yesterday I noticed that the babies looked like they were ready to fly that morning. I saw the mother or the father feeding them that morning right before I actually left to film this video. And then when I came back, I noticed that by like 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, the babies were gone, and I thought they had like flown the coop, but it looks like they were in the ground on my back door, my outdoor patio. And you know, later that evening, it looks like they were really ready to fly. Now I did my research on mourning doves, and it looks like it'll take about another week for them to really be fully established. It's just a beautiful scene that I was able to experience. I was so thankful. They literally were about 2 feet away from my my outdoor patio door, so I saw them every day. I remember seeing how I actually got attached to these wild animals, because there were times where we had those, you know, those tornado warnings, those really hard storms, and I was really worried for those 2 babies. But you know, nature has a way of giving these animals that natural instinct. I remember seeing the rain really pouring hard and how the little babies were actually hunkered down. But for those that have that want to see these mourning doves, definitely check out my shorts video that I will upload, and hopefully you can see just a time lapse of from when they first hatched and when they actually were out and about on my back door. I checked this morning. It looks like they were on my fence yesterday. They were on the fence this morning, but now they are not in my backyard, which gives me a little bit of sadness because you get attached to just seeing that family. But I am so thankful that they were able to, you know, just make it into the actual world. You know, it is a vast world. But let me get off of my, you know, my ranting. I know we're out here looking at plants. I hope you are enjoying these outdoor plants here. You know, Walmart has so many different varieties of like flowering plants. Like right over here, we've got some pentas. These are called cluster plants as well. Those require full sun. A lot of plants, actually, flowering plants do like prefer more full sun, except for impatient. Now we've got a bunch of crepe myrtles. So if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, especially in the Frisco, McKinney area, lots of people grow crepe myrtles. They grow very well, and the month of June is when they really start to bloom. There is a crepe myrtle world park that I want to feature and film for a future video that is in McKinney, and they've just got a whole park full of different types of crepe myrtle. So we'll definitely check that out. We've got some oleander here. They're starting to bloom as well. I like oleander, but just remember they are highly toxic, so you don't want to ingest any of the leaves. Just be careful with that. Shadow Magic crepe myrtle. This is another one of those like first edition type crepe myrtles. Really like the dark foliage on this. Now these have actually been released a couple years back, but these are becoming even more readily available. Love dark foliage plants, and even with a combination of that red bloom is absolutely stunning. That is a plant I would love to grow in my landscape as well. I mean, there's a lot of plants that I see whenever I go big box store plant shopping that I want to grow, but that is definitely one that is in my wish list of trees I want to grow in my my backyard. Here is another beautiful oleander here. This one's got a little bit lighter pink on it, And, you know, with oleanders, I saw variegated form at Home Depot, and that's the thing. Every time I go big box store plant shopping, I would say Walmart, Lowe's, and Home Depot, they have really good cost-effective pricing for a lot of their plants. Now, Mandevilla are flowers that you can basically see everywhere, especially at a big box store. Tropical plants that need full sun and a lot of water. Don't let them dry out completely, otherwise they will not do as well. And that's the thing about my plant care. I need plants that don't require nearly as much water because I am not the most consistent with watering my plants. Now, speaking of drought tolerant plants, Vitex, these are also an amazing one. These ones are for $24.94. They also are known as the Texas lilac. Beautiful trees, and during this time is when they actually go into bloom. Very heat tolerant, very drought tolerant, and that's another plant that, you know, whenever you think about your climate and what plants you're going to grow, you really want to look at your the weather, the climate, your grow zone, so that way it's a little bit more successful, or you have a higher success rate of growing plants, whether it's outdoors or even indoors. Like for me, indoor plants, you just want to look at plants. It depends on your lifestyle. So if you've got a very busy lifestyle, you want more plants that take a little bit less care in terms of just the amount of light you have to provide, the watering that it requires. So just, you know, some tips for that. Here is a rose mallow for $9.74, or what you would call the native hibiscus. These are definitely dehydrated plants. They definitely need water. And what I've noticed is that Walmart actually has sprinklers in some of their areas, but with the weather being in the high 90s, close to 100 already in North Dallas, I mean, summer is literally around the corner. They're going to have to frequently water these plants, otherwise they will just shrivel up and die. Here is a Nabelia Peach Perfection. So another beautiful yellow foliage shrub. This is also for $24.97. And then we've got some more of these beautiful plants here. I'm not sure what the plant ID is. I always admire the texture of the leaves. And then we've got some more plants over here as well. Love that. This is the Cape Plumbago plant. I don't really know a lot about this plant. What I do know is it does have beautiful lavender colored type blooms, really nice looking one. This is another perennial for $6.97. So, you know, if you're gonna grow plants outdoors, you might as well look for plants that can be perennials. That way you can, they will come back year after year, and you're not having to spend money on annual plants. Annual plants are plants that will just grow one growing season, and then you're gonna have to replant them for the next season. But we're gonna go ahead and walk into this Walmart right here. This is a Walmart I featured in so many of my videos. This is a Walmart that is literally about 5 to 10 minutes in proximity of where I'm based at. And that's the beauty of being able to do these plant shopping videos for y'all. I have so many big box stores that I can go to, so many quality big box stores I can go to. And you can see all of these plants are pretty much sourced out by Costa Farms to Walmart. And you can just see that they've got hanging baskets here. I think I was here about a day or two ago, and these hanging baskets were still in the boxes. You can see the first one right here. This is for $19.84. This is a Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess. Really like the look of the Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess. What a beautiful looking plant. Love the variegation. And you know, with Hoyas, if you can provide them with a lot of bright indirect light, they do absolutely amazing. And you know, the best thing is if you can get a Hoya to bloom. I have yet to actually get a Hoya to bloom. That would be another sight to behold. That's something that I'm excited to see. I have the same Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess. I have a Hoya carnosa tricolor, and I have a Hoya carnosa something else, or not a Hoya carnosa, another Hoya that I got from Peeta's Planters, which is another local plant nursery I would suggest shopping at. Definitely check out the videos. I've got 2 local plant shopping videos from Peeta's Planters in my playlist. And over here we've got a hanging basket of green Marantha. What a beautiful plant. Look at how the pattern on the green leaves are. It is absolutely stunning. It is another plant that that I am all about. It is another plant that I just wish I could grow. Now with Maranthas, which are similar to Calatheas, they are a little bit more forgiving versus a Calathea. I would say Calatheas are probably the biggest divas when it comes to that prayer type plant. Beautiful green Marantha for $19.84. And then over here, we've got a teddy bear vine that's also beautiful. Love the look of a teddy bear vine. This one is super full. I've seen a lot of teddy bear vines popping up at a lot of Walmart. So with Costa Farms, I do think that they have cycles where they just release a certain crop of different plants. Currently, they probably are just shipping out a lot of these teddy bear vines. I would love to be able to see a full basket of Manjula pothos, Epipremnum aureum Manjula pothos. That is one that I have yet to find. If I do, even though I don't really need to get another plant, that would be another plant that I would add to my collection. Now, plant foldies, whenever you go big box store plant shopping, and I say this in all of my videos, do you ever just have a plant budget? Do you ever just break your plant budget because there is a certain plant that you did not expect to find, and then you find it and you're like, I can't pass this up? That has happened to me, I would say, the last 2 weeks. There's just a lot of beautiful plants that I just couldn't pass up. One being, certain monsteras and just some philodendron. I was able to find some rare and uncommon philodendron at HEB, for instance. HEB is a local grocery store that is only available to be seen in Texas, and it's not even all over Texas. That's another place that I would suggest buying plants. And then over here, we've got another Hedera helix. Gotta love your Hedera helix or English ivy. Beautiful hanging basket. Like, I really wish I could grow English ivy. That is the story of why I am just obsessed with English ivy. I think it's because of the leaf shape. They look like maple leaves. Whenever I think of English ivy, I think of that classic houseplant, even though English ivy are really not meant to grow indoors, or at least in my experience, because they end up becoming spider mite magnets. It's one of those plants that you have to be very cautious about whenever you're bringing them indoors. It is a plant that is just very challenging to grow. It is a plant that has a lot of issues when it comes to being prone to spider mites indoors. Now, outdoors, they do well, but you can see right over here, this was in a box of 6 hanging baskets when I first saw that about 2 days ago. I'm glad that they finally got them out for people to possibly buy. And then I did want to show you that Walmart does have a bunch of sprinklers that will water the plants. So it's good that they are watering them early in the morning. Hopefully they also water them at night, because with the weather being extremely hot out in Texas, are gonna need that for sure. But love the look of the sprinklers. Actually, I did take the audio off, but it is a little bit relaxing. Not sure if anybody here listens to like white noise whenever you go to sleep. I listen to brown noise when I go to sleep, and it really puts me well. I have been getting some pretty good sleep as of late. There were times last year when I reflect about how I just didn't have the best sleeping patterns, and so I'm just glad that I'm a little bit less stressed moving forward this year. Around this time, I was just really bogged down with a lot of stressors, and I think that's the reason why I also enjoy making plant shopping videos. It is very good for me mentally to just be able to share beautiful plants like this philodendron Birkin, for instance, in a self-watering planter. This one is only for $14.97. I will go out on a limb and say that Walmart has the most cost-effective plant pricing when it comes to the majority of the Costa Farms plants. Now, if you notice, I didn't even pay attention to this, but the stems and the petioles of a philodendron Birkin are actually variegated, and not every single philodendron Birkin is created equal. Some are a little bit even more lighter and have better variegation. Here is an Aglaonema red siam, the most classic Aglaonema alongside the Aglaonema Silver Bay. This is a beautiful plant as well for $14.97, and it being in a self-watering planter just makes it a lot easier to grow, just because it takes the guessing game of having to water plants. Here we've got a Calathea too. This is a Calathea rospicta. Love this one. This one actually I bought at this Walmart specifically for $14.97. And what I did is I converted that calathea into hydroponics. Now, for those that don't know what hydroponics means, it means I basically took the soil or the soil substrate, washed it away under a hose, so it was just literally roots, stuck it in a almost like a fish bowl, and put water and some nutrients, some Super Thrive, and some trace elements of Miracle Grow, and it has been doing very well for me. I think for plants that require a lot of water, converting them to hydroponic or just putting them in straight water to grow has done very well for me. But you can see over here, Ficus Audrey is doing amazing. Really like the look of that. And that is another ficus plant that I would definitely want to grow. And then here's another Ficus Audrey. I have one in my back patio that I just need to chop up. So the thing about ficus plants, you can actually train them to be a little bit more of like a tree form. If you chop up the top of the part of the plant, it will shoot out more branches, and you can encourage more branching. So I always found that interesting. And then what else do we have over here? We've just got a lot of plants. I like to just take you alongside with me. And for those that continue to go to my live premiere chats and just really interact with me, thank you so much. For those that are watching this video live during a live premiere chat, please say hello. I really encourage that engagement. You know, we are a really nice, friendly plant community called the Plant Foldies at Grow Folds, and I love hearing from you. So if you get a chance to make it during a live premiere, definitely say hello in the chat. And if you are watching this as team replay or just watching this after a live premiere, I would encourage you guys to leave any type of comment. I love comments. And if you think about ways to support my YouTube channel, simply hitting the like button, leaving a comment about the plants, asking me a question, that is a huge help to my YouTube channel, because it pushes my videos out to even more plant lovers like yourself. I know during the live premieres, there's a lot of people that will encourage others to hit the like button, but seriously, if you are listening to me right now, watching my videos, and really just want to reward me for my efforts, just hit the like button, leave a comment. Typically one plant shopping video takes about 5 hours out of my day, from just filming, traveling, editing, voiceover, uploading, and just getting it all set up. So it is a little bit tedious, and just the simple action of hitting the like button is all I really ask for, if we can continue to do that. And you can see over here, trending tropicals plants. This is a Monstera Deliciosas. Now this is a pretty sad looking Aglaonema red cyan. This one I would just buy, wash out all of the soil, and put it in straight hydroponics or straight water. Luckily that this plant is still looking fairly healthy, but this one needs to either be clearanced out or somebody needs to rescue that plant. Unfortunately, my plant funds have really been depleted as of late, just because I have done so much plant shopping. Like it's kind of ridiculous how much money I've spent on plants, but when you think of it, we only live one time, and if the plant brings you joy, I always tell myself, that's justifiable. But I also need to be a little bit more responsible, which is some of my plant purchases. It is getting a little bit out of hand. I will say though, this Epipremnum aureum global green pothos, beautiful specimen here. Now with this particular pothos, I've said this in a lot of my videos, this pothos requires a lot more bright indirect light for it to really get that beautiful green on green variegation. I've got a Begonia Maculata right over here. Now that one is also for $19.84. The thing about Begonia Maculata too though is it can be a little bit of a finicky plant. For me, I ended up getting a free plant, and that is because my grandmother, who basically is the reason why I even got into plants to begin with as a child, she is an expert when it comes to growing begonias. I gave her a Begonia Maculata years back, and she was able to propagate it multiple times. She ended up giving me one that she propagated, and I got a free plant. So it currently lives outside in my front patio in a shaded area, and that's my advice for anybody that has plants that are a little bit more finicky or a little bit more of a diva. I would say alocasias would be one, or for plants that need to be rehabbed, taking them outside in an outdoor shaded area. For some reason, plants bounce back. Or if you're trying to grow a plant that is, you want better size, for it to grow a little bit faster. I've even seen philodendrons like being brought outside in a shaded area. They just grow much faster outside. So that's just some of my advice right there. But as you can see here, I did show you that beautiful Scindapsus truebrii moonlight. That is another plant I want to buy. The thing about that specific Scindapsus is Scindapsus in general are a little bit slower growing as compared to a pothos plant. Here is a ZZ plant, just a regular green variety. It's one of the easiest plants that one can grow, and it is another plant that I feel like is underrated, or a lot of people just kind of like overlook it because it is considered a common plant. But when you think about common plants, they are common for a reason, and that is because they're easy to take care of. And who doesn't want an easy to care for plant? I always recommend easy to care for plants because they're less stressful. And I always believe that if you're going to take care of plants should not become an overwhelming chore, an overwhelming task. Plants should be able to enhance your lifestyle and really give you guys some great calming effects, mental health effects, not something that would overwhelm you. And I would find myself getting a little bit overwhelmed, for instance, just because with all of the 1 hour plant shopping videos I do daily, sometimes I neglect my plants. Perhaps I'm making some, excuses about them, but at the same time, I've recognized where the gaps are in terms of just my routines around plants. But at the same time, I also know when to scale back and also give myself some grace. So if you're struggling with your plants or some of your plants aren't doing well, try not to stress about it. Learn from it. I've kind of reassessed what plants I want, what plants I don't need to add in my collection. And it's kind of helped out in terms of just me being able to manage my plant collection. But you can see over here, another Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. This one is only for $9.97. And I will say for a 6-inch planter, that is an amazing price. I really love the look of that as well. And it is another plant that I would definitely recommend. It is an easy to care for plant. It is a basic plant. It is a plant that I think every plant foldie or anybody that's watching this this video or my plant shopping video should add to your collection. And then we also have some more 6-inch planters. This is a Dieffenbachia for $9.97. So I remember when I first really started to get into my plant journey, growing plants indoors, Dieffenbachia would be a plant that I would gravitate to because I do like the variegation on the leaves. I do like how it grows, upright. The problem is it is a more challenging plant because number one, it requires a lot of bright indirect light, which most indoor spaces don't necessarily have. Number two, it is a little bit more spider mite prone. So when you talk about plants, those are two factors that really make them either an easy to care for plant or a plant that just requires a little bit more maintenance. And so Dieffenbachia are not necessarily on the my high list in terms of what plants I want in my indoor space. They are gorgeous plants, needless to say though. Now Dracaena, lemon lime. Now Dracaena, very easy to care for plant. That can tolerate lower light conditions. It can tolerate being underwatered or just, drought tolerant. And that's the kind of plants I kind of need in my plant collection. And I show this in every video. Dracaena Janet Craig compacta for $9.97. What a beautiful green Dracaena. Most people will overlook it, but this is a plant that gives you that beautiful deep green color. It grows compact, it grows tall. It can grow up to 4 to 5 feet in height. It becomes more of a cane as it grows up, but it is a plant that tolerates lower light conditions. It is easy to care for. It is a plant that is also inexpensive, and it's a plant that's readily available. So if you're looking to save money on a plant and have a plant that's easy to care for, I would recommend that Dracaena. And then this is another Dracaena. This is a Dracaena Hawaiian fragrans for $9.97. Again, this is another easy to care for plant. I do like that green on green variegation. This one grows a little bit taller and less compact than the other Dracaenas, but it's another beautiful plant I would recommend. And here's another Dieffenbachia right here. Now Dieffenbachia, again, they are just a little bit more challenging because they require a lot of light. And then this is a philodendron ring of fire. So what I love about the philodendron ring of fire is, number one, they just have beautiful variegation. And then number two, they are just more readily available now at big box stores. Here we have some type of alocasia here. I believe these are for $17.47. They have been released by Growers Bench, and they've got several of their actual little baby corms that have sprouted. So you'll get about 4 different alocasia, or 4 different plants in that alocasia, which is really cool. You can actually separate them. I do like the fact that alocasia self-propagate. And then over here is a beautiful philodendron white princess. Now, I bought 2 philodendron white princess a little while back. They're growing on poles. They're doing very well. Now this one is for $24.47, which is still a really good price considering this plant, this size, about 3 to 4 years ago would have cost about $200. So plant pricing does go down. And I always tell people, if you have a plant that you're looking at and it is a little bit high, I would say if you can exercise some patience and restraint, know that any rare plant, no matter how expensive it is, the trend has always been 100% accurate that plant pricing will go down. As tissue culture happens to become even more readily available, where plants are able to be reproduced, like I would even assume all of these philodendron ring of fire that I'm picking up were tissue cultured, it just creates more of a supply versus a high demand. And it's just basic economics. If you have more of the plant available, there's no way you can really charge those expensive prices. Now for the local plant businesses, that may hurt slightly. But then again, on the flip side, I think that if a plant is readily available and you're truly about the plant, you'll get more business because there's more people that are able to obtain the plant. That's just my insights. And then, you know, whenever you do these plant shopping videos, I have been utilizing it more as like a personal blog as well, where I can just tell you all of my insights. I just find it interesting that I can talk for about an hour and you guys are still engaged. I am super surprised. I am so thankful, and hopefully you guys continue to tune into my plant videos. I am planning on doing some more content outside of plant shopping. I want to show you guys my coleus collection, for instance, outdoors. That is about to happen. I mean, I saw a lot of you guys leave comments. So if you want to see a house plant tour, an outdoor plant tour, I would encourage you guys to leave comments in the comment section. But all of these philodendron that I picked up, that was philodendron white princess, philodendron pink princess, all of those are for $24.47. Like this one right over here. This one has several philodendron pink princess. It has some pretty good variegation. Now, philodendron pink princess, there are 2 types of plants and variegation. One, you know, a certain plant will have more of a light influence variegation, so the amount of light you give it, and then some of them just have that initial genetic variegation where basically if it's a highly variegated plant, it will remain highly variegated no matter what lighting conditions you give it. Obviously, you want to always give plants the best lighting, which is basically bright indirect light for most of these tropical plants or these aeroids. Philodendron pink princess is really influenced more so on the original genetics. So you want to look for a philodendron pink princess that has a lot more variegation initially, because even if you you get one that's more green, it's not necessarily going to give you a lot of pink variegation, even if you give it a lot of light. Now, this is some type of alocasia that I'm actually interested in purchasing. I mean, look at how beautiful the texture is underneath the leaves. The stems have a like little black speckling. It's just got a lot of leaf interest. And you know, that's the thing about alocasia. They're like calatheas, beautiful leaves, beautiful foliage, big divas. And that is the downfall for me when it comes to certain plants. Like, I want to buy them all, but when it comes to their care tips, unless I bring them outdoors for some reason, they just don't do as well for me indoors, which is, you know, disappointing, because I would love to have those urban jungles. You know, whenever you go to like Instagram and you see all of these like really big plant influencers, they just have beautiful indoor spaces. But let me tell you something about that. No matter how perfect something appears online, know that there is a lot of effort that's put into it, as well as maybe some of the staging and editing. I don't think that there's a single person that has just a perfect plant collection where they don't have browning leaves, or, you know, struggles with pests. I think every plant lover, a plant collector will always run into that. It just so happens that certain people are able to really just showcase what you want to show. For me, I will tell you the nitty gritty truth. I love to be very transparent and honest about my thoughts. And so with all of these plants that I'm picking up, for instance, this philodendron ring of fire, know that I have struggled with those plants. And you know what the struggle is? It's just because I'm not watering my plants. I've had certain plants, even aglaonemas, that can tolerate not being watered. I've had them to where they didn't get watered for a month. And that if you don't water a plant for a month, no matter how tolerant they are, unless they are a cactus or succulent, they're going to decline in their health. And that makes me want to just reflect on my priorities with these plants. But plant foldies, as you can see here, beautiful plants at this Walmart. Like this one right here is an Alocasia Milo Light. This one is for $17.47. Another beautiful specimen of an Alocasia, one that I would recommend. If you touch the leaves, it literally feels like hard leather. And I just find that Mother Nature is just amazing in how it presents itself, and just the biodiversity of these plants. That's what makes plant collecting, plant growing, being a plant lover so interesting. Like here has some beautiful white stems on this Alocasia black velvet. I believe it's a black velvet. It could be a ninja, but I think the ninja has more rounder leaves. It doesn't have like a point, and that's another Alocasia I love as well. See, these are the assorted succulents. So Kalanchoe, this one is for $4.97. I like the different types of blooms that Kalanchoe have. Now Kalanchoes are succulents, so they are going to need a lot of bright light. And then we've got just a bunch of assorted succulents, so I won't go into full details about every single plant ID for these succulents. Unfortunately, I don't know all of the plant IDs for these succulents. It's just one area of plants I'm not very comfortable with just yet, but I am learning. You can see this one right here, though, is an Echeveria. That's all I know. And this one is for $4.97. These are by Element Plants. So Element Plants, Smart Plants are predominantly plant nurseries that source a lot of succulents, and these are succulents that I saw that were delivered about 2 days ago that they finally put out. Now with succulents, you have to make sure that you give them fast draining soil. This one right here is that Echeveria again. This is an Echeveria Dark Moon. I do love the look of this one. Look at those dark foliage leaves, and in the middle has like that neon green. I love that. That's just very awesome. And this one right here is another succulent. So what I do like about succulents is the potential to be able to like propagate succulents. Succulents are easy to propagate. You can propagate them using their leaves. You can take cuttings off like this one from the little baby and just stick it on top of the soil. There is just a whole new world of succulents that I have yet to really learn. I would love to learn. I'm just cautious about adding succulents to my collection because number one, I don't have the lighting conditions necessary for them to grow indoors for me specifically. And then number two, I will just find an obsession in succulents, and then next thing you know, I'll have like 100 of them in my home. That's what happened to me with my coleus plants. I love my coleus plants. I know that it's typically an outdoor plant that you should grow outdoors, but I didn't realize that you can grow succulents successfully indoors, and they do very well. But as you guys can see here, plant foldies, look at all of these beautiful succulents. I think about my viewers and subscribers, Kathy from Canada specifically. I love that you make it to all of the live premieres, and just really love the fact that you love succulents. So whenever I do plant shopping videos, I think about all of the regular plant foldies that get on the live premiere chats. Really appreciate y'all. And then let me know in the comments section what plants you want me to go film. Like this one right here is an Echeveria Angel's Kiss. This was one that I wanted to actually buy. I love the look of it. Look at how delicate the pastel colors look like on this particular succulent. Now again, succulents are a little bit challenging for those that don't have the lighting conditions. And remember, whenever you're planting succulents or cactus, like look at how beautiful this cuddly cactus is. This one I believe is for $17.47. You just have to make sure you have fast draining soil. Now they do have succulent cactus mix, so I would purchase purchase that and maybe add a little bit more perlite. The more fast draining, the better off. And then these are Crassula golems for $3.97. So I am starting to get a little bit more familiarized with Crassula, or what they are also known as jade plants. Love jade plants. My grandmother grew them when I was a kid, so I was always exposed to a lot of the jade plants. It is one succulent that I am most comfortable with because I've seen them before. But as I walk around here, look at all of the plants that this particular Walmart has. Again, this is the Walmart off of Custer Road in North McKinney, Texas, right next to 380 on the border of Prosper, Texas. But this particular Walmart is one that is fairly quiet, has always great plants in stock, like even this right here, this Scindapsus trubii moonlight. Now this is a trending tropicals plant in a self-watering planter for $19.84. And then we just have this beautiful Ficus Audrey. So the thing about Ficus Audrey, and this is only for $14.97. That's a really good price for Ficus Audrey. I love the veining on the leaves as well as the velvety texture of the Ficus Audrey. I didn't realize that it was not a Ficus elastica or rubber tree plant. It is in another genus of ficus. And then over here, we've got a beautiful Epipremnum aureum global green pothos. I love global green pothos. It was a pothos plant that I ended up spending a lot of money for like a one leaf, one node cutting about 4 years ago. I ended up spending like $50. And that's the reason why I say plant foldies. Any plant you see that is expensive or rare or highly sought after, exercise some patience and restraint, and I promise you, it always happens. You will be able to find these plants at a much more cost-effective price. Now we talk about peace lily, spathiphyllum. That's what happens when you don't water it, but give it that water, and like about 2 to 3 hours later, it'll act like nothing ever happened. It does look like a truck ran over it at the moment, but you can see here, this is another Ficus Audrey, and notice how the top of that ficus tree was basically cut, and you can see different growth points. It does encourage more branching. Now this is Monstera Peru. This is another Monstera that I need to get into my plant collection. I love philodendrons, I love Monsteras, I love all plants. And that is the problem, or it can be a problem when you love all of these different plants, but you don't have like a full-blown greenhouse. Like my dream is to be able to retire and have like a nice house out in the country and have my own personalized greenhouse, arboretum type area, maybe a conservatory. That would be so cool to just be able to walk around and have all of these plants. Obviously, that is just a dream, but they always say never, give up on those dreams. And this is another Monstera Studliana. You notice how there was about 6 different nodes that you can actually cut up and make as propagations. I love propagating plants, and Monstera Studliana and actually Monsteras in general are easy to propagate in water. I would love to be able to do some more plant styling. So another YouTuber that I've really gotten to hang out with recently, Janae Simone, she does some amazing plant styling videos. If you haven't already, please make sure you are subscribing to her channel at Janae Simone. We did a collab recently, and so she premiered it this Sunday. And then also to Steven at I Live Plants. Be sure to check out Steven's channel. He is getting more subscribers. I would love all the plant foldies that support me to support both YouTubers. Steven is a plant foldie at heart, and he is one that has become a really good friend of mine, and Janae as well. Like, we have our own little group text, and we do plan on doing some more plant shopping collab videos, so stay tuned for that. Found new growth on sago palms interesting. Look at how the leaves are just about to unfurl, but they come out as spikes like that. I find that really interesting, and it's just amazing to be able to see those types of plants. I also love the Monstera Deliciosa. Now this one is for $24.97 in a big plant here. Really like the look of that, and I just find that this Monstera is actually pretty nice looking. You can see over there that this one has a new leaf that unfurled. Look at how beautiful that morning light hits the plant. And that's the reason why, if I am going to do a plant tour of my home, both indoor and outdoor, I'm definitely going to go film during the morning. I just think the morning light just really accentuates the plant. It is my favorite part of the day. You know, I find mornings just to be very symbolic. You know, they always say that if you have a bad day, there's always the next morning to look forward to, and I do agree with that. And notice how beautiful the Epipremnum aureum golden pothos is, these hanging baskets. I love the look of those plants. It is another plant that is so easy to take care of. And then we have another table full of Monstera Deliciosas. We've got a bunch of Phalaenopsis orchids. And again, with Phalaenopsis orchids, some people will say that they thrive with neglect. And I do agree. They do thrive with neglect. You just need to make sure that if you're going to grow a Phalaenopsis orchids, if you're going to repot them, definitely repot them in orchid bark. I would also add some botanical charcoal as well as perlite or even pumice to really make that a very fast draining substrate. And then over here we've got a bunch of Majesty palms. Lots of Majesty palms. That is another plant I'm not quite as interested in because of the lighting conditions it requires. And check this out. Plant restock, plant restock, plant restock. So it looks like they've got several boxes of Costa Farms plants. You already know that sometimes I get lucky and I get to check out some of these Costa Farms plants. So they're just getting ready to unload these. So let's be nosy and see what they have. So it looks like they've got a bunch of those golden pothos again by Garden Expert for $9.97. They've got some Raven ZZs right over here. And what else do we have? Let's take a look. Looks like they got some just more trending tropical plants. Look at that. That is an Epipremnum aureum, maybe lemon meringue pothos. And then over here, we got some more self-watering planters of pothos. It looks like an enjoy, but I think they're labeling it as a lemon meringue. Beautiful looking plant. I love that variegation. And these ones are also for $19.97 or 84 cents, somewhere around that range. But these are in 6-inch self-watering planters. It is always nice to find plants when they just get restocked. It is a plant that I just, you know, it's just amazing to be able to see these plants right here. Look at that. And it is a plant that you could just find a lot of. I do love the look of this particular one right here. And then what else do we have? We've got some more sago palms. We've got some more of this plant right here. I'm going to call this the green shield, even though it has a very challenging name, but they call this the green shield. This is a plant I would love to add to my collection. I do love the look of it. Just look at that pattern on the leaves. It is absolutely stunning. And it looks like they've got some Epipremnum alplissimums over there as well. That silver streak pothos. That is another pothos plant I would like to get. You know, pothos plants are super easy. And I love the fact that Costa Farms continues to just push out all of these plants. So they've got 5 boxes of plant restocks. Really like the look of that. That is something super exciting. And I would love to just be able to get more of these plants readily available. Like, I love pothos plants. You can't get enough of it. Now, I did notice with the Enjoy pothos, it is a little bit less tolerant with underwatering. So that is another plant I need to stick closely to in terms of just growing that. And then we've got a bunch of Monstera Deliciosas right over here. Really good price actually for a Monstera Deliciosa. And I am trying to grow out mine a little bit larger. Like, there are some of my friends, like Janae has some amazing Monstera Deliciosas with huge leaves that she has grown for several years. So I want to be able to have that. I have a Monstera Thai Constellation that I've grown for about 3 to 4 years. That is about 4 to 5 feet tall, and it is just doing amazing for me. It is when I started out with a, you know, 1 leaf or 2 leaf, 1 node cutting a couple years back. I spent like $200 for that Monstera Thai Constellation. And you can see right here, these were shipped from Costa Farms. Gotta love me some Costa Farms. I hope that they continue to push out more plants. I definitely want to get a Costa Farms trending tropical plant just because I want to be part of that trend. You can never have enough of, you know, Costa Farms trending tropical plants, especially Monstera Thai Constellations. For a easy to care for plant that isn't a Monstera, I would recommend. And what I love about it is stable in its variegation, meaning it wouldn't necessarily revert. But as I pan away from here, what a beautiful Walmart. They always have such good plant styling and organization. You can even see that they've got some large foliage Dieffenbachia right here. I don't know specifically what this Dieffenbachia is, but you can see that it is in bloom. Now, whenever you see plants that are grown for the foliage blooming, I would recommend cutting the bloom, because the bloom will actually take up a lot more energy from the plant as compared to cutting it off, so it can actually focus on the foliage and new growth. You can see over here, Costa Farms also pushes out these exotic angel starter plants. I've bought 2 of those about 2 days ago, an Aralia balfouriana and a Dracaena Florida Beauty. But you can see right over here, beautiful Fittonia. Now with Fittonias, these ones are all for $5.48. That's not a bad price at all for a starter plant. I am tempted to buy several exotic angel plants from Costa Farms. You know, the best time to buy them is when they actually get restocked at a big box store. You know, the problem is once, you know, a big box store gets a shipment of plants, it's not necessarily guaranteed that the store will necessarily water them, take care of them as more meticulously versus a local plant nursery. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't mean that, you know, the teams at big box stores don't care about the plants. It's just that they have higher priorities for other things versus just the outdoor area or indoor plants. But you can see they've got several different kinds. So I'm just going to show you different varieties. Here's a Marble Queen Pothos. Right over here. And with the Marble Queen Pothos, again, in order for it to really maintain that beautiful variegation, you want to make sure you're providing it with bright indirect light. This is a plant that lighting actually factors into what kind of variegation that plant will push out. Less light, it will become more green. And this is one of my favorite Aralias. This is a balfouriana Aralia for $5.48. This is another plant that has stable variegation and can get very large. It can get a very thick trunk, so it becomes more of a tree form. It is a plant I would recommend. It is a plant though that does require a little bit more light, so I'm a little bit worried about the care for that. And then obviously Croton, this is a Croton banana. Really like that the leaves are a little bit more narrow but also rounded on the edge of the leaf. I love the yellow vein that it has, that one streak. And it's so interesting to see that certain plants just have a certain type of pattern. We've got another Croton Petra right over here. We've got a Syngonium right over here. That's a Syngonium berry illusion. Syngoniums are easy to care for plants, but if you neglect them too long when it comes to watering, they will decline in their health very easily. One way to reinvigorate a Syngonium that has gone bad is to basically cut it back, put it outside and let it grow outdoors, and it will bounce back. Here's a beautiful Croton bush on fire. That is another Croton I would love to add to my collection. And then a Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. Love that as well. It is a classic plant. It's a plant that I would also recommend for any big beginner that wants to grow indoor plants. And then this is a Dracaena Florida Beauty. And notice how the white speckling is so spectacular for $5.48. That is a pretty good price for a plant, and it's another one that I would recommend. Easy to care for plant. It is a little bit less drought tolerant than a typical Dracaena, but as you can see here, Costa Farms has it going on. I am appreciative of Costa Farms just because they do provide us with so many beautiful plants to pick from. I'm thankful that Costa Farms actually featured one of my reels on their tiny plants on their official Instagram page. So thank you so much, Costa Farms. And as I walk around here, you know, this is a fairly nice and full indoor houseplant section at this Walmart, and especially if you're on the look for large Monstera Deliciosas, I would recommend this location. I ended up buying one at this location. I repotted it in a 12-inch planter because I really did want the plant to size up a little bit. And then we also have all of those Majesty palms. But you know, plant foldies, hopefully you've enjoyed this part of the video. I will be going to another location, and that would be the HEB grocery store. So you're definitely going to have to take a look at that. But look at how beautiful this beautiful Monstera Deliciosa leaf is. It's starting to really fenestrate, and it is the late afternoon at HEB. So this is some grocery store plant shopping in HEB, McKinney, Texas, off of Custer Road. So definitely check that out. As always, guys, please make sure you are hitting that like button if you made it this far into the video, as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel with the notification bell on. But as you can see, this is an HEB I featured feature almost every week because HEB grocery store, which is basically only available in Texas, has a lot of beautiful plants at cost-effective pricing. And a little birdie did tell me that they had Monstera Thai Constellations available again, and this is one for $39.98. This one has a new leaf unfurling. I am definitely gonna buy this. So I'm debating on whether I should do another Monstera Thai Constellation plant giveaway on Instagram. So if you want to see me do another plant giveaway on Instagram, please make sure you are leaving a comment for this specific video. The rules will be placed in, and then I am actually announcing the specifications for my variegated Philodendron domesticanum giveaway. I'm gonna actually start that today. So if you don't have an Instagram account, create one. That's the only way you'll be able to actually be entered to it. But you can see here, these are by Max and Miles, which is basically the plant provider for HEB grocery stores. I love these Monstera Thai Constellations, and honestly for $39.98, that is such a good price for these plants. And then also check these out. Green Form Monstera Deliciosas right over here. I love the look of these Green Form Monstera Deliciosas. And check this out, they're only for $9.98. What a good price for them. They are in 6-inch starter planters. So I will go out on a limb and say that grocery stores such as HEB, Trader Joe's have some really good plant pricing, especially for Monstera Deliciosas. Like, this is a nice semi-mature form of a Monstera Deliciosa. I really like how the leaves have started to fenestrate. And if I don't already have, if I didn't have like 2 already in my collection, I would have ended up buying it, because for under $10 you get such a beautiful classic plant. Now just know that these Monsteras, they're small now, but they will take up a lot of space in your home. They will get large, so just make sure that you do have the space to be able to host such a beautiful plant. I do love the fact that these are easy to care for plants. Now with Monstera Deliciosa and Thai Constellations, they do require a little bit more bright and direct light. They are tolerant to lower light conditions as well, but the problem is if you do that, they don't grow as quickly and they don't fenestrate as quickly either. Now here are some Tradescanthia Nanuks. So I do love the Tradescanthia Nanuks. I have been buying these Tradescanthia Nanuks though at Lowe's. So that's whenever you go big box store plant shopping, it's always interesting to be able to do different plant price comparisons. And that's the reason why I enjoy making plant shopping videos. I know a lot of times I will feature you guys the same types of plants and kind of talk about the same commentary, but I find it very important to be able to be consistent about just showing you guys these different plants. Like this one right here, variegated miniature rose. I love a variegated miniature rose. I love miniature roses. Now roses are a little bit challenging to grow indoors because roses really need to be out in full sun in order for them to really thrive. So if you're going to grow rose, it better be in a south facing window that gets a lot of light, or a west facing window. Also growing it under a grow light indoors will probably be best, just to supplement that type of light. But you can see here, I am always on the lookout for, beautiful rare plants at HEB. So this is the one I will definitely pick up. I'm debating on whether I should keep this plant for myself or do another Monstera Thai Constellation free plant giveaway on Instagram. So if you are listening to this and watching this video and you want that giveaway, depending on how many people really want that giveaway, leave that in the comments and I may go ahead and just give out this plant, send it off to another lucky winner. I know that I ended up getting our first winner, and it so happens that she just took a chance at it, and you never know, you may end up winning a free plant. So definitely check out my Instagram at Growfolds. I will announce today how to win a variegated domesticanum for free on how to enter. So definitely check that out. But you can see over here, plant foldies, lots of beautiful Monstera Deliciosas. Huge fan of them. They're super easy to take care of. They are a plant that I would recommend, and it's another plant that's just easy to really take care of. So I'm going to walk over here and just show you some more of these philodendron. So these are the philodendron Thai Sunrise. I love philodendron Thai Sunrise just because they just look fabulous. Like, I love that green on green variegation. This one has better green on green variegation. I know that Costa Farms released these a little while back as a trending tropicals plant. I would hope that they would go ahead and release them again. I ended up paying for this. I believe these are for $29.98, somewhere around that. They are a philodendron that requires them to grow up a totem pole or moss pole. So just make sure that if you're going to get the philodendron Thai sunrise, that you have a pole for it to grow. It is another plant that is very easy to propagate, and that's another plant that I definitely want to multiply and get some more free plants. That's another way to save on plants, is either doing plant trades for cuttings and whatnot, but I do love that as well. And you can see over here, HEB has a bunch of assorted different types of succulents. So these are all echeveria plants. I believe these are all for, I think, like $9.98, somewhere around that range. They do have some pretty interesting planters. I'm not really a fan of some of these planters. Like, I really wish if they were just in like terracotta planters, I would totally be about that. But needless to say, this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful selection of succulent plants. I just happen to not be as versed about, succulents. So that's one thing. This is a crassula or a jade plant though that I like. And then you can see here, look at this light echeveria succulent. I am all about that. It is another plant that I definitely am a fan of. And this is the reason why plant foldies, you will see this particular HEB in many of my videos, my future videos, because they're constantly doing restocks. They're constantly showing different types of plants. And HEB is constantly giving us some really cost-effective plant pricing. Like, this is the juvenile form of a Monstera Deliciosa. This one is for $7.98. So notice that there is just like $1.02 price difference. If you were to ask me, I would go ahead and buy the larger ones for $9.98. And then they've got all of these Epipremnum, Arium, Golden Pothos on a totem. What I love about Texas, the HEB plants they are grown in Texas. They are sourced out from Texas. So these are grown in Blanco County. These are for only $6.98, and they're growing on a totem, which means that these leaves, if the aerial roots actually attach, will get larger and larger. And like I tell you what, golden pothos or any type of pothos plant on a pole is absolutely stunning. And then just this plant find right here, these Monstera Thai Constellations, you can't beat that. And I'm pretty sure all of these have already been picked through. I'm sure that they got a whole selection. I just happened to be late. But plant folies, as you can see, I am going to go ahead and buy this Monstera Thai Constellation. So let me know if you want me to do a plant giveaway, a free plant giveaway for this particular one. I love Monstera Thai Constellations. This one actually has a really good one. Definitely check out my Instagram this evening for that plant giveaway. I'm going to make sure to have all of the details for that, for a free variegated domesticanum. But I am going to do a little bit of grocery shopping at HEB. I love their products as well. So I'll see you on the next one.